It's Drawclass. Everybody, it's Drawclass.
It's
Who's
Drawclass.
ready to learn a thing or two about drawing?
Love the that pause.
That pause, that pregnant pause.
Had to remember what the class was about. Oh yeah, it's drawing.
It's like, I know we're learning a thing or two about something.
About something, but what could it
what
be?
What is it? What do I know how to teach?
What is it?
It must be drawing.
It must be.
How's everybody doing today? I'm looking at the chat. I'm seeing Xandru Burt. I'm seeing Hot and Cold AF and Striped Socks and Nosorgs and Kobe DeVore and Benjamin Miramontes. Thanks for coming. I hope you're all ready to learn a thing or two in this intimate classroom setting that we have. No love for Jamie and Draz. They're always here. I know they'll always be here.
Yeah. So they don't get a special greeting.
Draz, are you not a mod on this?
What?
That doesn't seem right.
Does not seem right.
But you're not showing up as a mod for me.
Wow.
Are you supposed to be a mod? Did we do something wrong? You finally realized. Now you're a mod. What about that? How were you not a mod before? And for so long? How did we not know?
I mean, I don't know lots of stuff. So I know how I couldn't know. But other people.
But me?
But you?
I always know.
You know some stuff.
I know a thing or two. Jetlag Disco, it's your first live draw class.
Wow.
Welcome. Glad you could make it to this one.
Yeah.
We're going to be teaching and screeching. That's what we do.
I'll do the screeching. You do the teaching.
Yeah. First I teach something. Yeah. And then Nathan does that periodically.
In some personal news, I got Invisalign.
You got Invisalign?
So this is my first ever stream or recording with my Invisalign in. So if I sound a little different.
I didn't notice anything at all.
Acclimating to the stuff in my mouth.
You sounded completely the same to me thus far.
Well, good.
And also because you have a big beard, I can never see your teeth anyways.
No, my teeth are invisible. And I've been told I talk without moving my mouth. So
yeah, you're like a ventriloquist and also the dummy.
Yeah. Well, I am a dummy.
We're all dummies here, but not for long. Because we're about to teach and learn. How about that? What do you say we get into it?
Let's get into it.
I'm going to share my screen.
Let's get into it. That's what I say.
Share this Photoshop document that I've not saved yet. Because I like to live on the edge.
Ooh. Yeah.
Okay, so today's class, I've been calling it what have I been calling it? The ultimate low pressure drawing schedule, parentheses, for people who have a hard time maintaining a drawing schedule but want to, close parentheses.
That's for me.
Yeah.
That sounds like is for me.
It's for me too. I had to find a way that I could practice better that would work for me and that I wouldn't feel bad about doing it bad or not enough. So I made a schedule for people like you and me. We can't all be Karinas.
No.
Who just draw all the time and love it all the time. Some of us don't love it and it's hard.
Aren't as powerful.
Some of us aren't as powerful, and that's for all of us weaklings.
Yeah.
So I've set up here there's some ground rules that we're going to go over first.
Okay.
And then we're going to go over the schedule, the drawing schedule.
Yes.
And then me and Nathan and you two watching, not the two of you watching, but you as well who are watching. we're going to do like basically a speed run of the schedule to show off all the parts of it.
Any % schedule speed run.
Yeah, any % schedule speed run. So let's start by going over the rules.
The rules. Whoa, that's a lot of rules.
No, it's just I split them up into different lines. There's only 5 rules.
That's a lot of layers.
A lot of layers, not a lot of rules.
Great.
Rule number 1. Pick any 5 days during the week to practice. And you can take your break days whenever you want. It doesn't matter which days the 5 days are. It's just this is a 5-day schedule, so any 5 days you can find the time
5 days.
will work for this. And if you can't do 5 days, you can do less days and just cut out one of the days. It's whatever.
Whoa.
It's flexible. Make it work for you.
I love that.
But for the purposes of this example, we're doing 5 days. Yes, 5 out of any 7 days. That is correct, Jamie. There are 7 days total in the week. This is 5 of them, which means 2 of them, I better not see you drawing.
2 of them are free.
Yeah. The only rule is you can't
days.
you can't draw on the other 2 days. It's impossible. Yeah. All right, so that's rule number 1. Rule number 2 is set a minimum time for each day that is easily achievable. And what I mean by that is a time limit so small that you can't fail at it. Like however small that is for you, depending on what time you have available. It can be 5 minutes. If 5 minutes if you're having trouble doing the 5 minutes, it can be 1 minute. The point of the time limit is to make you start drawing. Because
you already know once you start,
yes,
there's going to be an end.
You know there's an end. And the second part of the rule is continue drawing after that only if you feel like it, once the time limit has elapsed. So
I have a question.
If you set a 5-minute timer and you start drawing and 5 minutes later the timer goes off and you were like, that sucked and I hated it, don't continue.
You're done. You did it.
You did your practice for the day. You must stop now. Or you should stop now. Because if you're drawing when it's miserable, sometimes you have to if it's your job. If it's not your job, it's a good way to burn out. And like set your brain, associate your brain thinking bad thoughts with drawing. And then when you go to draw, your brain will be like, well, you remember last time it wasn't fun. And it was stressful and I didn't like it. So I'm going to try and make you not do it now. We're trying to avoid that brain space.
Yeah.
For the purposes of today, we're going to be doing 15 minutes for each one.
Okay.
Normally, if it were like me in my own time, I would do 30 minutes because I know I can.
Be my question.
I know I can do 30, and then and usually by the time I've hit 30, I'm like warmed up enough that it's feeling good.
Yeah.
And I'll do a little more, but some days I don't do a little more. I'm like, I just am not feeling it today, so I stop. Okay, rule number 3. If you miss a day, it doesn't matter. Just try again the next day. It's not important. It's not life or death. It's not critical. Just do your best. The other headspace I want to avoid is the one where you're thinking about things in terms of streaks. Like, oh, I did 5 days last week and 5 days this week and then 5 days the week before that. But then I missed a day and I broke my streak. And now I don't feel like doing it at all.
So now now again, it's a negative feeling in your brain.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. The streak is not important. The 5 days is just a framework for you to work off of. But if you miss a day, don't let that dissuade you from just doing it the next day.
I just realized they're the same number of rules as days.
Is it a coincidence? Yes. It is.
Wow.
Rule number 4. Do not try to do a good job. I don't want you going into your practice thinking I'm going to do a good job or make a good art, or I'm going to judge this by any metric other than if you drew or not. If you drew, you did it.
You do.
If you didn't draw, then you didn't do it. That's the only metric you are to judge this practice by. Because the whole point of the practice is just to make you do something routinely, not to make you make good art. Making good art comes later. You do that separately. Do it on one of your off days if you want to make good art.
Yeah, this is practice.
This is practice. We're just doing it to get new stuff in the brain and to learn new things.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at it at the end and you're like, I don't think I did a very good job, I don't care about that. The point is you started making new pathways in your brain with whatever it is you were trying to do. And through doing it, you've learned more about it than you knew before you did it. Thus, you've improved. And then rule number 5, focus each week on something you want to improve on. It can be as general or as specific as you want it to be. So the schedule is based around like a single subject for the week. So if you're starting the week and you're like, I really need to work on, something as general as like poses, like dynamic poses.
Jacob?
Then what?
I was thinking poses.
You were thinking poses?
That's what I was thinking. That was the first thing that came to mind.
Oh my God. Nathan.
I thought poses in my mind, and then you said it with your mouth.
Well, then you can do poses for this practice. That will be your practice.
That's something that I do personally want to work on, is my posing.
Exactly. I mean, posing is a big one, but it can also be specific. If you're like, I really need to learn how to draw torsos better, hands is a big one. Or like for someone like me, I don't have a lot of practice in drawing like buildings or cars, or like if I wanted to get good at something that I don't currently know how to do or don't have a shorthand for, you can focus it as specific as you want or as general as you want. But it is good to have a focus for the week. Those are the rules.
Them's the rules.
Just to go over them one more time quickly. Rule 1, pick any 5 days during the week to practice. Take your break days whenever you want. Rule number 2, set a minimum time each day that's easily achievable. Continue drawing after that only if you feel like it. Number 3, if you miss a day, it doesn't matter. Just try again the next day. Rule number 4, do not try to do a good job. I swear to God, if I see you trying to do a good job, the only judgment you get to make is if you drew or not. I just realized I didn't put periods in this one only. All the other rules have periods at the end of their sentence, but not this one. So I didn't even try to do a good job. And look at me, I'm still going.
Wow.
And rule number 5, focus each week on something you want to improve on. It can be as general or as specific as you want it to be. So put those rules inside your brain, write them down, tattoo them on your flesh and in your heart. So the next thing is the schedule itself. This is how your schedule breakdown will go. And I think if you go through this process with basically anything you want to improve at, it's a nice type of schedule because it leaves a lot of room for learning new things about what you're trying to do, and then also has a built-in comparison feature to see how you've improved over the course of the week.
I love that.
So day 1, let's say if we're doing a Monday through Friday, this would be Monday, day 1. Draw whatever it is that you're trying to improve at from imagination. So for Nathan's case, for poses, for day 1, you're just going to do some poses.
Just going to make up some freaking poses.
Make up some poses.
My noggin.
To the best of your ability that you can do now.
Yeah.
So it's also a nice way to like ease yourself into the week because you just have to sit down and draw. You don't have to like prepare anything or think about it too hard. You're just doing what you already know how to do with whatever your subject is. And kind of this is to get like a baseline and also to get you sort of warmed up for the week. Day 2, I'm calling speed sketching. It's essentially figure drawing. But I think when you say figure drawing, people usually think it's like the human figure. But this can be anything, whatever your subject is. the purpose of this day is to do numerous and fast drawings from reference of the thing you're trying to get better at. Whatever fast is will depend on you. You can, I wouldn't go over like, I'd say like 3 minutes maybe at the maximum. I would probably myself trend towards more like 30-second to 1 minute drawings. But it depends on your speed and how much you can accomplish quickly. But you're not going for detail here. You're not going for accurate representation or detail. You're going for capturing sort of the vibe of the thing, the basic shapes of the thing, like how it's structured and how it's built as fast as you can. Don't get into the details. Don't try to start like adding every little feature. We're just looking to start building construction and start like putting in your mind the way this thing you're trying to learn how to draw looks from a bunch of different angles, a bunch of different scenarios, as fast as possible. And the nice thing about speed sketching or figure drawing, hello, Olive, is that it's low pressure because it's so fast.
You
You
want it's gone.
Yeah, and then once you're done with one, you're moving on to the next one. You don't have time to really dwell on it.
If you're doing it digital, imagine you're doing it on newsprint and you're just going to throw it out.
Yeah, exactly. It's because you don't have to even save this.
Yeah.
You can do with it whatever you want. It's going in your brain. That's what's important.
Yeah.
Day 3, reference drawing. On this day, what you're going to want to do is pick some references and spend a little more time with each one. So in this way, you are actually trying to capture details. You're using the construction you learned from day 2 to get the base, and then you're trying to sort of hone in on some of the complexities of the thing you're trying to draw. So if Nathan's doing poses, day 2 would be like gesture drawing, figure drawing as fast as he can. Day 3 would be like if the figure, trying to capture some of the musculature, trying to capture some of like if the figure's wearing clothes, like how the clothes are folding. And spending more time on each one, however long you want to. You can do one really long one if you feel like it. For me personally, I would probably do like around 10 minutes per drawing, just so you're getting like a few examples in your time frame. If you're only doing like 5 minutes, then just do one. Whatever you can fit. If you're wanting to practice colors, how would you apply that? I will talk about that, Ryan, Neil. After I get through the schedule, I'll give you an example for colors. So yeah, day 3, reference drawing, slower drawing. Day 4, style study. This is where you'll go out and you'll see how other professional and successful artists are representing the thing you're learning. How are people simplifying it? This is an important thing to learn to sort of help develop your own shorthand for the object you're trying to draw. Because most likely, unless you're trying to do actual like naturalistic, realistic drawing where you're copying it one-to-one, there's going to be a level of simplification involved. And the way different people choose to simplify things is really, really helpful for developing your own style. So for Nathan, I would imagine something like Nathan Googling up characters from like a popular animated thing, like maybe like, Turning Red came out recently.
Oh yeah.
Lots of really cool like pose work and character design in that, or like, Spider-Verse or something.
Ooh,
has tons of like dynamic posing and angles, but it's very stylized and simplified.
Yeah.
So you'll pull up reference of something like that and then try to sort of imitate those stylistic choices that they're making to the best of your ability. Like, how are they drawing a torso turning in this way without having to represent every single muscle and every single thing? What's the shape language they're using? So day 4, study how other artists are doing the thing you want to do. And then day 5, draw from imagination again. So you're going to be sort of putting it all together, your week's work. You've done fast figure drawing and speed sketching. You've done longer reference drawing. You've done style studies. Now you're going to take a day just to draw, like for Nathan again as an example, just to draw poses again and see how your poses are different now that you've put some new input into your brain. And ideally what you'll see is some change from day 1 to day 5 in how you approach things, maybe a little more confidence, a little more like it comes a little easier to you. That's the goal. And the changes will be like likely small, like it's going to be incremental changes.
Right.
But you'll notice like maybe one small thing that you're doing differently now that you weren't doing before. And then you just repeat it week to week.
Yeah.
And you can do multiple weeks on the same thing, obviously. If you are really hammering down on poses, do a whole month on poses only. And just keep working on it like this. And it's going to get you to improve quickly, but you're not going to feel like overwhelmed with what you have to do. You've got a set list of things to do here.
Yeah.
And then we had the question about if you wanted to practice color. I would say it's essentially the same thing. I mean, drawing from imagination with color would simply be like putting together a palette, light and shadows, sketching and coloring those sketches in whatever way you would do right now based on your current knowledge. Speed sketching for color is, I think, more like, I might have to like show it as an example, but you can sort of do color studies where you're pulling up like work that you like the color palettes of and trying to sort of imitate it in blobs as quickly as you can.
Yeah.
It's like a speed sketching version of coloring where you're blobbing in the big shapes of light and shadow in a rapid way to sort of like see what choices they were making color-wise rather than line-wise. So you're not really going for like an accurate portrayal. You're going for like color blobs that sort of get the gist.
Yeah.
Reference drawing is the same, but slower. You can like really take your reference and like color pick from the reference to see like which colors they chose, because oftentimes it's really different than you think looking at it based on the color relevancy of the surrounding colors and the light and shadow and the saturation and stuff like that. We just recorded an episode recently that I won't spoil what the episode's about, but we had a lot of shocking color revelations.
Oh, yeah.
In the recording session because the color looked like one thing compared to the colors around it. And then you'd color pick it and be like, that's not the color at all I thought it was.
That's not the hex. The hex code says it's here.
Yeah.
But when you look at it in context, yeah.
Yeah.
Your brain does some cool stuff with color. And the more you practice with it, the more sort of cool tricks you'll be able to pull off.
Yeah, totally. Because like I'm not excellent with color, and I tend to go like too saturated and bold to make sure it's the right color. But looking at the ones we did in that episode, I was like, oh, you can really get the vibe of a color.
Yeah.
With very little delving into that color range just based on the colors around it. So stuff like that. And then obviously style study, same thing. See how professionals are using color in their work.
Yeah,
like
do a little color picker. See, like, you'll look at a piece and be like, dang, they use so many colors. And then you'll color pick and be like, oh, they're using a limited color palette. Actually, it's just these ones are really saturated. So it makes these less saturated ones look like other colors, but they're still in the same sort of zone.
Yeah, totally. You'll learn some surprising things by doing that and seeing like the tricks that professionals use.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then drawing from imagination again is that's the same. That's just like try to do a piece, incorporating the information you gathered from your week of study. So I'm thinking what we do for the rest of the class, and feel free to play along at home if you want to, is we're going to do 15-minute increments of each one of these days. Just to sort of show how it might go if you were doing it yourself. And Nathan, you're going to join in, right?
I'm going to join in.
Nathan, going to do some poses.
I'm here to practice. I want to get better.
We're getting
I
better.
want to improve.
We're improving and we're
myself.
getting better. So all that's left is I need to figure out what I'm gonna work on. What do you think? I think I could take it from chat. If people want to suggest what you'd like to see
Yeah.
me work on,
We'll just do that. We'll both do that. We can all work together.
I request not color because I want to do lines to sort of, since that applies to more things generally in terms of like the building blocks. So I'll wait and see if anyone in chat has any suggestos. And something like backgrounds too would probably be too general for this.
Minion bus.
Minion bus. There's no other reference for minion bus other than what I drew.
Your minion bus is perfect. You don't need to work on that.
I cannot improve on minion bus.
Minion bus is perfect just the way it is.
Characters in jumping poses.
Ooh,
eyes and noses.
That's nice and specific.
Jumping poses, eyes and noses. Heads at various angles. What do we think? Do we think jumping poses? Or heads at various angles? Those are both really good. Dancing is good.
I'm up for whatever, Jacob. Lead on, teach.
Why don't we try jumping poses for this one? It's a nice one. It gets full body involved.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I should save this PSD that I'm working on, shouldn't I?
Where the heck is my phone?
Where is my phone? Where is my phone?
I need to get up anyway to make this cat leave my lap, so I'm gonna grab my phone and I'll be right back, and then we'll get started on our speedrun week of jumping poses.
Class 429 22. Jumping poses. What's up, chat? It's just me. Oh, Jacob's back. That was very quick.
I'm back, baby.
But yeah, chat, feel free to pick whichever of those.
Yeah.
Whatever topic you want to do.
You do not have to do jumping poses.
You don't have to do jumping poses.
It's just what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get this out of here. Make a new layer. This layer will be day 1. I'm going to set a timer. So for the next 15, Nathan, we're just going to draw jumping poses.
From imagination.
From Imaginathan.
Imaginathan jumping poses.
Yes.
Okay.
And I've specifically not warmed up today, so that you can see this is from cold. We're going to be doing this because this is likely how you would be doing the practice as well.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get my brush out. This brush is too big. This brush is too big. Can't draw a pose with a brush that big.
Too big.
Okay, great. You ready, Nathan?
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Ooh.
All right, and so I think what I'll do is I'll show, I'll show my process on this one, and then maybe we can switch over to you for like the next phase.
Sure.
And we can sort of switch back and forth. How do people jump?
How do people jump?
Sort of got like an up angle pose here that I'm going for. Like a big Mario-esque leap. I'm going for kind of that jump that people do in like the movies when they're like jumping in between buildings.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, whoa, whoa.
That's a great jump. I'm already stuck. But it's okay because we don't rule. What rule is it to not have it be good?
I think it's rule 4. I forget.
Rule number 4.
It's one of them.
Don't make it good. Don't worry about it being good.
No, we're not trying to make it good. We're just trying to do the best we can.
It's more like this.
And I have been working on figure drawing and drawing from reference a lot more recently, so this is feeling a little better for me. But it can always be improved.
Yeah.
As I realize every time I watch Karina draw.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn it! My poses have to get better. This is sort of like a straight up jump. Doesn't look much like a jump. Looks more like standing tall.
Yeah.
Standing tall.
When you jump really high.
Maybe something like this with like a wide legged. This is almost like a heel flip. Like a skateboard jump.
Oh yeah.
What kind of jumps you got going on over there?
Struggle jumps.
Struggle jumps on the struggle bus.
We're doing struggle jumps over here.
Well, we got plenty of time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep sort of drawing these. Again, these are, I didn't warm up either today. I've just been reviewing episodes
Of our program?
of the Drawfee program.
I know that program.
Yeah.
Maybe this is sort of like a falling backwards type of jump. What about a little jump you do off a curb or something? Yeah, I can get a little curb jump.
You've drawn so many more jumps than me.
Listen, it's not a competition about how many jumps.
Yeah. I always draw legs too small. Legs are so big.
They're really big. I do the same thing.
Legs are always way bigger.
I make everything too squat and too wide. Those are my typical pitfalls. And then sometimes I overcorrect and stretch them out too far. But they're usually still too wide regardless. A little jump, like a hop. Yeah, how does like a little hop work?
Hop, the rival in Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Yeah, I feel like this is more of like a step. This kind of looks like a little jig. Ding da ding da ding da ding. You're just doing a little jig.
It's allowed.
Maybe like, let's get one over here. One thing I really like doing is just sort of making like a oblong, not oblong. It's sort of like a rounded triangle shape. And then like interpreting like at random and then interpreting the torso from that.
Yeah.
And then just like trying to make that work.
That's a fun practice.
I always find that a lot of fun. Because the torso is really just a weird polygon.
Yeah.
Oh, this looks like they're getting ready to kick a ball. But I think one thing that I want to make clear is that like even on ones that I'm like, I don't think this is exactly a jump that I've depicted, I'm still drawing. Like I'm still practicing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like as long as you're doing it, even if you're not achieving the goal you set out to do every single time, you're still getting better.
Right.
You're like sort of a big leap.
Or like,
this.
you know, you're still you're teaching your brain to not be afraid of drawing. So like even if you're not like specifically improving a skill, particularly on day one, like I wouldn't expect, if this is something you're looking to improve, if you're just doing what you normally do on day
Yeah.
one, you maybe aren't gonna see any improvement from that, but you're still doing something important, which is uh training your brain to not fear practice.
Yeah, exactly. And that's I think one of the biggest hurdles, like for me especially, is that oftentimes I won't practice just because I like get in my own head. And like I'll be thinking like, "Oh, I really would like to do some practice today." And then I'll get like weirdly scared of it.
Yeah,
Like
it's
I'll
like what if
start
it's
feeling
bad?
like anxiety.
What if it's bad and I just waste my time?
Yeah, what if it's bad and I waste my time? Whereas if I don't practice, um, then I definitely won't feel bad, but then I end up just feeling worse and not improving.
Right. So it's valuable to just try and trick your brain into not making you feel that way, because your brain is going to make you feel ways and it's going to impact your behavior, and you can't improve without practicing.
Yeah,
So
it's the only way.
the value in doing it this way is that like even if you're not actively improving a skill at all moments, you're improving your ability to practice,
Yeah, your
which is
ability to start
very
drawing,
important
to just
because
go.
you need to be able to do that if you want to improve. I don't know what this one is. It's going like, oh,
Sometimes it's going, "Oh."
I don't know if any of these are jumps, but
You know, it doesn't matter. This is why we're doing it.
this one's more of a leap, I guess.
I noticed Jetlag Disco asking, do you have any advice on practicing liking a part of the process more? They said they love every part of drawing, but they hate rendering. I know the answer is practice more to find something that works for you and get more comfortable with it, but have you ever had this feeling and any success combating it? It's a really tough one, honestly, because there's like parts of the process that I definitely like less and more. And I meet with various success and failure when I attempt to overcome it. Like there's some things I have not yet overcome. I'm still really not good with environments and backgrounds, and I've not made a lot of progress in getting better at that yet. But part of it, I think, when I do succeed at sort of enjoying a part of the process I normally don't like more. What a complicated sentence that was. When I succeed at enjoying part of the process more, it's usually when I manage to turn my brain off about it and just be like, let me just explore it like I don't know what I'm doing, because I don't. And like if I can remove the pressure and just say, I'm just going to try stuff and it doesn't matter what happens, then I usually end up having a better result and having more fun. If that makes any sense at all.
It does.
I don't know if you have any like advice on that, Nathan, how to like enjoy a part of the process more.
Um, I mean, it comes down to planning, which I'm bad at. But it's like if I'm rushing, if usually when I'm having the hardest time with a drawing is if I'm down to the wire. Like this happens with speed draws a lot. I'll spend a lot of time thinking about it, and then when it's actually time to do it, I don't have as much time as I would like to like be playful
Yeah.
with with it, because like what's fun about drawing is like playing around, messing around, and just like seeing what happens. And if you are in a time crunch, you're not going to enjoy that because you just want it to you just want to finish.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, and it's hard because I don't know, I'm not great at time management, but yeah, you want to give yourself enough time to play around, because usually like what's frustrating is when you try and do the thing and it doesn't look the way you had it in your mind.
Yeah, it's that area you
um
meet when it doesn't live up to your expectations. I totally agree.
but it's less bad when that happens if you have more time, because you can just sort of be like, okay, that didn't work, but maybe you did something interesting that you didn't expect. And if you have some time to like mess around in that space, you know.
Yeah, you can find like new ways to approach it through that.
Yeah.
And it's definitely better to explore that stuff during practice like this, where your goal is not to achieve a result, than it is to explore it while you're trying to make a piece, which is what I usually do. And then I do get frustrated because I need to have a finished product and I'm like failing.
Right.
There's a different fail state with like trying to make a piece versus trying to practice. And so if you can just work on that stuff while you're practicing, then when it comes time to make a piece, you'll already sort of know how you deal with it. And you can push it forward that way. We got 2 minutes left. 15 minutes. I know we just talked about this. Nathan, you weren't in the episode, but 15 minutes is a long time for us.
Yeah.
We were talking about it in the 10-minute. Well, you saw the episode.
Oh yeah, I see every episode.
But we were having the discussion about the specific Drawfee skill set, which speed is sort of the one thing we can really do, or we have to be able to do. And so I just keep drawing stuff and looking at the clock like, still time, huh? I need to like learn the opposite thing now, which is like how to slow down. I think I've like lost the ability to slow down a bit because I had to draw really fast for so long.
Yeah.
And I like being able to draw fast for the sake of, oh, here's a good volleyball spike. Let's go. For the sake of like sketching and like getting an idea down quickly. But then I want to slow down when it comes to like the rendering, but then I get impatient.
Yeah.
That arm is so long. But this is also the purpose of doing stuff like this, is that, like Nathan was saying, if you draw something, if you're trying to draw a jump and you draw something and you're like, that's not a jump, at least your brain now knows that's not how you draw a jump. Like doing it the way I just did it does not make a jump. And so it's just more information.
Yeah.
For your brain to work with. All right, time is up. So this would be day 1 of practicing. And if you were like enjoying it, if you were enjoying drawing these jumps, you could keep going from here. Keep drawing jumps. Also, I don't want the schedule to seem too rigid. You don't have to keep everything to a separate day if you don't want to. If you're feeling it and you're like, now that I've drawn these jumps, I'd really like to look up some reference, then go ahead and do it. Follow your heart. It's really, the schedule is designed just to get you going, to make you start drawing. But you don't have to follow it like it's the Bible. You don't have to follow the Bible either. It's actually probably better if you don't. Don't follow anything. No rules.
Good parts. Yeah.
No rule. Just do whatever you want. Stop listening to me.
This is the we're trying to convert you.
Nathan, are you done?
Well, you said you can continue drawing if you
Well, yeah,
want.
but you can't
Oh, okay.
because we have to move on.
Because we have to move on. Okay. Yeah, I'm done.
Do you want to share your page of jumps?
Yeah, but guess what?
What?
You gotta let me. There we go. So here are some jumps. I didn't do as many as
Oh, nice
Jacob.
jumps. I really like the foreshortened one in the top middle. And that like
Sort of.
sort of inverted jump on the right that your mouse is near. Like the up angled jump.
Yeah, they're kind of jumps.
They're
Like I
definitely
said, this
jumps.
one's more of a leap, but this one just kind of looks like a guy running at you, like ah.
Yeah,
But
but a
again,
run can be a jump.
this is without reference. I'm excited to get some reference going and actually look at what happens when a person jumps instead of just trying to guess.
Yeah, I think that's part of the appeal of this schedule as well, is that when you draw a bunch of jumps from memory, it does instill in you the desire to look at someone jumping,
Yeah.
to be like, I'd really like to know what it looks like
I
when
feel
people
like
jump.
I'd do a better job if I could look at what it looks like when someone's jumping.
Yeah, absolutely. I've just realized that the way I have my stream set up,
Mm-hmm.
I can't actually keep it on you drawing while I'm drawing.
That's
There's
okay.
no way to do it. So we're just going to have to watch me draw and then check in on your drawings.
That's fine.
I apologize.
That's quite all right. It's less
So
pressure on me, so I'll
I'm going to
take it.
switch back to me,
There you go.
which is here. Switch back to my jumps. Okay, so now we'll go on to day 2, which would be like the speed sketching portion.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make a new layer called
Are we
day
going a line
2.
of action?
I think what I'm going to do is just find some pictures and then put them
Okay.
in Photoshop and then do them. How many pictures you think for 15 minutes for speed sketching?
15.
You want to do 15?
I don't know.
We can do 15. 1 minute each.
Yeah. How do you find jumping? I guess I'll just use the same ones you're using. Then I don't have to do it. Because you're putting them into Photoshop?
I will put them into Photoshop, yes.
Okay, then I'll just use the same ones you're doing.
Let's see if Pinterest has any good jumping poses. Pinterest usually got me. Oh, hell yeah, dude.
If you're Googling something, it's going to take you to Pinterest anyway.
Okay, here we go. Let's get these jumps. Look at this jump. What's this guy doing?
Ooh.
And then we got
He's doing a fall. He's falling with style.
Here's some good jumps. Oh, that's so many jumps.
Oh, nice.
We can do 6 jumps just from this guy alone.
I think I used that for a class I taught at a summer camp. These jumps. Those are good jumps.
Those are incredible jumps.
Those are really good jumps.
Then we're going to get, oh, this is a good one. Pinterest is the best website for art reference.
It's pretty good.
This is a cool, like, reverse one. So that makes what? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 jumps.
8 is good.
Let's do 10.
Okay.
10 jumps.
10 jumps.
Let's find some
10
really
jumps this time.
unique jumps here.
Jump to the left. Jump to the right. Everybody jump.
Jump your hands.
Jump your hands.
This one's good. It's like a happy prance of a jump.
Aw. Yeah. She got her backpack.
And we need what? One more? Who's got the good jumps? This is
Jumping your hands is just waving, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. but sort of like this.
Jump
It's
your
like
hands.
Oh yeah, skateboard.
Skateboard. Some good jumps you can do on a skateboard.
I love all these shirtless men jumping that we've got.
Dude, if I were a shirtless man,
I'd jump.
I'd be jumping.
I've got my
This
shirt
guy's
on
like
though, so no
floating.
no jumping. Yeah, I mean, maybe he's in space.
Floating's like a permanent jump.
Floating's like a permanent jump. You heard it here.
Yeah, because it's true.
Uh,
Okay. So we're gonna do. Let's see. Can we?
holding my stylus further back, which is a thing you can do if you want to feel a little looser with it.
Oh yeah, you can get loose.
You can get a little loose.
I need to make a new thing here, like this. Okay. I'm gonna set a little timer on the computer that like beeps every 1 minute.
Well, I guess we don't need, because we only have 10.
Yeah, we'll just do 10 minutes. Olive,
Okay.
you can't be in my lap right now. You can't be in my lap right now. I'm sorry. I hate to tell this to you. 1 minute interval timer. Okay, it's gonna have a 10-second countdown and then we're gonna go.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah,
Are you freaking ready for this?
we'll see. We'll try it.
All right, it's counting down. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did you hear the beep?
I did hear the beep.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah. Okay. Then you'll hear every beep. We'll try to get some of this guy's like pants energy too. Because why not? There's nothing we can't do. If we Olive, come on. She really wants to be in my lap. Okay, come here. It's more angled like that. I'll draw with you in my lap if I have to. Arm goes down. 13 seconds left. That's pretty good. Happy with that. Oh, that's it. Next one.
Okay. All right. So we'll just go from the
Go from the top. I know they're small, but that's okay, right?
Yeah.
Olive. She's being such a menace. Okay, so this goes like this. She's headbutting me. I'm literally teaching a class right now.
She's got notes. These are producer notes.
At least people will understand why this one looks a little rougher. That's basically it. All right, we got about 5 seconds. Can just do it on the same layer. Why not? Get out of the way, gamer. And next one. We got arms. We got hitting the wrong buttons on my keyboard. Head's like here. If anyone is like fairly new to gesture or figure drawing, I'll try to explain like sort of what I'm looking for here. One of the biggest things I'm looking for is the relationship of things in space to each other and the angle of things. So for instance, I'm looking at where the knee is compared to where the elbow is since they're close. Looking for where the foot is compared to the knee, which I think in the picture is actually all foot, but it's hard to tell. Next drawing. So sometimes I'll start with the torso. I usually start with the torso, like a general torso shape that I then edit as I go.
Yeah. Start with like the direction of the spine is also a good
direction of this
one.
very good one. So I'm looking at this knee, then I'm looking at the other knee and being like, where is it in comparison? And then like, where is the foot in comparison to the other foot? It's higher and to the left, so I want to make sure that mine is also higher and to the left. You'll see I got the arm a little too long because it becomes hand right below the butt. And then this actually kind of comes around like this. We get the elbow sort of right here next to the head. So it's all just like quick construction. Next drawing.
Shrink it. Gotta shrink it. Keep going. Okay.
Shrink it and keep going. So you see I start with like a general torso shape. I see that this shoulder's higher than this shoulder. And then I'm sort of following the flow of the arms where they're like foreshortened. This one's moving backwards in space. This one is too. Head's pointed up. There's one knee sort of right here. Yeah, the nice thing about doing this type of practice in particular is that it's so fast. You don't really have time to worry about it too much. At least I don't. Because you got to move on to the next thing. We don't have time. Get a little hair in there on that one. Why not? Hand. Next one. This one, the torso is like really... This is a complicated one.
Oh, yeah.
Arm goes up. The knee's like right up under the chest. And you want to really try and like draw what you're seeing rather than like what your brain thinks you should be seeing.
Right.
That's a hard sort of mental state to get around. I think it takes people a long time. It took me a long time. Not that I'm like perfect at it, but because your brain has like a way it thinks things go. Like it knows what like a foot is. And so your brain wants to make it look like how you think a foot looks. But that often is not what it actually looks like in reality. The shapes are like weirder. Doing like a peace sign sort of thing. All right, last one on this page.
Kind of cut off there.
Arm going back. Neck and head going forward. Olive, I know the cable is hitting your ear, but you're sitting in my lap while I'm drawing. So, who's really at fault here? This dude was probably so tired after this photo shoot.
Yeah, he really did it.
He had to jump so much.
Each one of these is a different jump.
Oh, his hand actually shows up back there. Good jumps. Good jumps. All right, 3, 2, 1. Get rid of that. Get this up. So we're on to this the backward schoolgirl jump, correct?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good to try and find reference from like as many angles as you can. So you train your brain on like how the body looks. And this is like super foreshortened, so it's mostly hand. Train your brain on how the body looks from like a lot of different ways. The head is like up here, and then there's hair that I'm not going to worry about. Leg go up. Everybody's legs go up. And they stay there. And they stay there. Do people remember that song?
They will now.
Oh, that one's quick. Okay. Next. Sometimes they'll catch you off guard with the speed, but that's okay. Like this. Got a skirt situation going on. Leg go forward and down. Leg go backwards.
God. Oh no.
Nathan's losing it.
Struggling. It's okay.
Get a little bit of that skirt shape in there.
Good. Doesn't have to be good. Rule, whatever.
In fact, it can't be, because you can't judge it at all. Next one, last one, skateboarder. On this one, I've started with the leg, the forward-facing leg.
Also started with the leg.
Because that's like, sometimes a part just jumps out at you as like the reference point for the rest of the shapes.
Yeah.
Head goes here. When you're trying to draw like a foot at a weird angle like this, that's one of the times where you really want to draw the shape of what you see rather than what you think a foot looks like.
Yeah.
And then you'll find that it's a lot easier when you're not thinking about it as a foot and you're just thinking about it as like, this is the weird sort of triangle that I'm dealing with here. That's it. Done.
Done.
Now I can finally look at the chat again and see how it goes. How did everyone feel? Did anyone join for this? I see people talking about Olive.
Olive will forever be the star.
I mean, my assumption is that the people who joined for it probably aren't typing because they were busy drawing as fast as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense. Jamie said gesture drawings are so fun and I am so bad at foreshortening. No, you're not bad, because we're not judging it like that.
Yeah. You can improve.
You can improve. If you drew it, you did it.
You did it.
If you drew it, you did it. That's the motto for this stream. Nathan, can we take a look through yours?
Sure.
I will stop sharing. Oh, these look good, dude.
Thanks.
I really like the extra sort of style you put into like the feet and the arms and stuff, like making the arms really thin and the hands and feet really big.
He was so small.
Yeah.
It was like my footholds, and then I did the rest of them on a different page.
Oh yeah. You really pushed the skateboard pose. I love that. Yeah, it's okay to push the poses too.
You could push them.
You can make them a little more dramatic if you want. Was there I guess these were all of them, huh?
That was it. Yeah, just these two. But yeah, this is fun. It's like good to remember, because again, it's like running drills or like doing scales, and depending on whether sports or music is your point of reference, but like it's literally, you're just like working a muscle. It's like being able to look at a thing and being able to have your brain tell your hand what to do. Yeah. And the more you do it, it just is going to strengthen that connection, even if you never look at what you draw ever again.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. The fact that you did it is what mattered.
And you'll find that the more you do stuff like this, I mean, it seems like simple to say the more you do it, the easier it gets. But literally, you'll just like start busting out poses that previously you would have been agonizing over.
Yeah.
And now you can just like whip it out and it's not even a problem. All right. So that was day 2.
That's day 2. We did it.
We did it. Day 3 now is we're going to pick a couple of references and we're going to try to work on them more deeply.
A deep reference.
Some deep reference.
Do we want to use one of the ones from day 2, or do we want to find a full different?
Get some new ones in.
Get a new one. Let's get a new one.
I'm gonna say let's pick 2 and we'll do like 7.5 minutes on each one. Does that sound all right?
What? Yeah.
I was worried for a second that it didn't sound all right.
Yeah, it sounds good.
All right, I'm just looking for some good ones here. Okay, this is a cool one.
Someone pointed out that Olive senses time challenges. Yeah. Like a little bit of time pressure. Olive's like, ooh, I need to be here and make things more difficult.
Yeah. So I'd say pick either one of these. This is one image.
Yeah.
And then let's get, who else is jumping cool? Who's the coolest jumper here?
Whomst
jump the coolest?
Who jump coolest?
Kind of like this one. This is another skateboard one. Skateboard people do the coolest jumps. There we go.
It's just they get so much speed from rolling,
yeah,
and then they jump.
Yeah.
And then they're up so high, they can do all sorts of stuff.
All right, so let's start with this businessman vaulting over a counter.
Oh no, I'm late for the meeting. My presentation.
So I'm going to set a timer for 7.5. 7.5. And we'll just spend 7.5 doing the one pose. Yeah. Oh, yes, Olive, please go. Thank you. My back thanks you. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go. So the nice thing about doing stuff like this after you do gesture is that you still got the gesture practice in your brain. So you can sort of get it done quicker, the beginning parts.
Yeah. And then you can futz.
Let's bring that up. Okay, we got to really like, and this is these are tough poses I'm choosing intentionally.
Yeah.
So that it's clear to everyone that because I want to be like learning in this process as well.
Yeah. I like these poses.
The butt goes all the way. We can see the underbutt.
You can see a little bit of the underbutt
of the man.
Underbutt of the man.
Underbutt of the man to you. They say that in some places. As a greeting.
A greeting.
A greeting.
Sometimes I'll go back and rewatch that Wallum Dooigi early weeding to you clip.
It's a real good one.
It was fun. It was fun in the moment to get there.
And then it was fun to relive it.
Yeah.
See how this man's suit is working. The head is going to be doing. The head's going to be something. Neck. Also worth mentioning that when I do these studies, I don't really make much of an effort to copy everything exactly.
Right.
I'm like interpreting some things and stylizing some things because I still want it to be fun to do.
I really like that one you did for your like that painting one that you posted a little while ago.
Oh yeah, I was really proud of that one.
Yeah. And again, like it wasn't exactly it, but it was close and it was a little bit your own.
It was more fun to sort of give myself the space to enjoy it. Okay, let's clean it up. And something worth noting is that like not every line that we're making here is going to be like perfect. I go back and I erase sections like a million times.
Yeah.
Because this is how you sort of slowly teach your brain what does and doesn't work with these types of things. This needs to be more horizontal. Get the collar in there. Amazing that he's kept his tie tucked in through all of this.
Yeah.
Tucked into his business suit. And there's some of it you can't even really see because it's basically all black. Got some lines here like that. Just gonna color some of this in. Because why not? He's really doing it, this guy.
He's gonna make it to his meeting.
He's definitely gonna make it to his meeting.
You know, someone told him the wrong time for the meeting to try and sabotage him, and he was like, I'm getting that promotion.
I don't think so, pal.
I'm getting the account.
Try to get that sort of shoe shape in there. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Maybe make it a little smaller. Yeah, don't feel like I said, you have to nail everything first try. You can, if you're doing digital, you can adjust things. Like I adjust the size of things and placement of things all the time as I draw. I don't feel like any preciousness about like, oh, but I didn't actually draw it the right way.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care.
Don't worry about that.
Going for results here. Everyone is honking outside because they're so psyched.
They're so psyched to learn.
They're like, I gotta get home and draw. Let's see, how does this go? Like this. And sometimes I find I can draw things better when I draw them bigger. And so it's easier for me to draw it bigger at first and then shrink it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get some color on that. I've not approached the face at all, but that's not really the point of this practice, I suppose. It's more of a pose practice than a face practice.
Absolutely.
So we'll just sort of get, and I usually like do my own version of the hair that I see, just because I like drawing hair my way.
You do good hair.
I don't want to draw hair your way. I want to do it my way.
I drew it my way.
We got about a minute left. And the stuff I'm doing, like, you know, shading things in, it's not even part of the process. I'm just doing it because I think it's fun.
Yeah.
Be sure to include things that you just think are fun.
Be sure to do that.
We want to have a good time here.
Yeah.
He's kind of got like a little smirk on his face.
Yeah, because he knows he's going to make it to the meeting, even though.
Even though everything is worked against him. That's time. I'm pretty happy with this.
Yeah.
Jack of all said, how do you feel about not erasing lines during practice? Do you think it helps or hinders the learning process? I erase lines all the time. I think when you're starting out, or even like where I am in the learning process, there are artists who are like masters that can just like get the right line first try. But I think 99% of artists cannot do that, and will do messy sketches where they're erasing and resizing and moving things. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all.
Yeah. And like, again, there's certainly different schools of thought on practice, but I think this is, again, meant to be like low pressure, low stakes, just to like get you in the habit of doing it.
Yeah, totally.
So I think for this, do whatever feels comfortable. And then, if you want to up your game, you can try and add extra challenges.
Yeah, I'll definitely sometimes try to draw in like a dark brush where I commit to the lines from the outset. It's like a different style of practice, like Nathan said. It depends on what your like goals are, really. If you're just trying to make finished pieces that you like, there's no reason to be able to do that, because you can do whatever you want during the process. No one sees that. So like, I don't know really what the purpose is. Like something like that's kind of helpful for us because we draw live. So oftentimes the quicker we can nail something down, the better. But that's like specific to our jobs. Nathan, can we see your drawing?
Sure.
And then we'll do the other one. Oh, yes. My dude.
There he is.
Yeah, I think, do you still have the reference? Can you pull it up?
The reference
it's on my
your
screen. So you can't pull it up.
No.
I was just going to say, like, it looks like you got some extra, like, forward momentum action.
Probably,
like the pose is, like, pushed so that the planted arm makes it look like he's flying forward faster than the, like, reference suggests. Yeah. Which is, again, an example of what I like to call making it fun for yourself. Like, you don't have to do it exact. Like, do it in a way that's fun and cool.
Yeah.
Interpret it. You don't have to just replicate it. You can interpret it. But yeah, this looks awesome. Great job on those feet too.
This is fun.
Good shoes.
I love a good shoe shape.
Shall we do the next ref?
Let's do it.
Oh yeah, definitely. His arm's like nearly straight down, depending on which one you look at. But you got a cool like 45-degree arm angle.
Oh yeah, I was pushing him.
Pushing some stuff.
I want him to get to his meeting.
That's the leg goes in front of the arm, huh?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, let's do the next pose, which is this one.
Oh yeah.
And I will make it bigger. And maybe chop off part of this. And maybe get my canvas in the right place. All right. There's so many cars going by outside today.
Oh, they're going.
Just blasting music and honking. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. So this one's can be a tough one since it's a reverse sort of angle. And it can help, again, if you're like new to this sort of thing, to try to like not even think about it in terms of like the human body, but just like sort of what's in front of what.
Yeah.
Like the torso is like this shape, but the butt is in front of that. And then when you do that, you got foreshortening without even like having to think about it explicitly like that.
Right.
And again, think about the position of things relative to one another. His left foot is higher than his right foot. We've sort of got this cool, you can't even really see his shoes because of the exposure of the image, which is kind of cool. You kind of just have to interpret their positions. I do really love drawing poses.
It's fun.
It's fun to do. It feels cool to draw people doing cool things.
It's like you're doing the cool thing then. What is happening? Is that the shirt billowing, or did they have like a... Can't even tell.
I think it's the shirt. That's probably how I'm going to interpret it. So this is all like twisted this way. And like if you look at the reference, like his chest, let's do this. His chest like disappears behind the line of his leg. Like that's how torqued he is. So you don't even like see his full chest, which that's one place where like your brain can trip you up because like you want to interpret the chest as being like this one piece and you ignore like these severe angles here, like how it's working actually in reality. I gotta shrink this. There we go. What's going on with this hand? He's got like a thing on his wrist, which I'm gonna exaggerate. Get some of this hair action in here. I think that needs to be even. And again, I'm like moving stuff after the fact here.
Yeah.
Which is totally fine. And trying to get in a little bit of like how the fabric bunches and twists can also be helpful.
It's doing like a stretchy.
Yeah. And remembering like everything is like tubes and pipes. And like that's the best way to show depth, is to show like at the end of like these legs, make sure you're like showing it as like an open tube. And then this would be a tube here too. It kind of just makes one cylinder. And then this cylinder that meets it is kind of going the other way. One really good basic practice thing you can do is just the classic shapes in space practice, where you just spend your time like drawing like tubes receding into the distance and like cubes receding into the distance.
Tubes and cubes.
And like it seems stupid, but it like really will help you because everything is just made up of the same shapes at the end of the day. Oh, I got to get like his crazy flaring out shirt. That is really hard to see what's happening. Just gonna make it up. How about that?
How about that?
Goes up like that. All right, I was doing pockets. This is a fun pose.
Yeah, it is.
It's really, really actiony. A lot of movement to it. I mean, I guess there would like have to be. The dude's literally in space. He's flying through outer space.
We do have pockets. The fingernails of the butt.
The fingernails of the butt. Yeah, they show you the angle of everything. We got about a minute and a half left.
God, I'm not gonna finish.
I got through this one pretty quick. We'll try to get some face action in here in the time I have left.
Oh, you zoomed in and now I can't see the reference.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here you go.
Thank you.
Is that better?
Yes. Thank you.
I was just thinking about myself because I'm very selfish. So it sort of was more important to me like what I needed.
Yeah.
But you had to have your way. Yeah, that's cool. I'm happy with that.
No, yours is really good. Dang. Mine is not.
No, Nathan.
Right.
If you drew,
if I drew,
then it's good.
Okay. Then it's good.
I didn't even like do the board. See if I can sneak the board in 30 seconds. A little 30-second board action. They got the trucks. They got the trucks. Skating board. We love to skateboard. 5 seconds. That's time, baby.
All right. Well, you know,
it's all about learning.
We just tried it.
We tried it and it's all about learning. What did Jack of all say? They tend to draw in traditional ink so they don't get a lot of wiggle room once a line is down, so they try not to delete or erase when practicing. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
If you're working in a medium like that, it's a totally different realm. I think generally what people do in that sense is do a lot more preparatory sketches. So like spend some time, like fill a whole page with the pose you're trying to make before you go in for the real thing to make sure you know how to execute on what you're doing. And that's like the equivalent of erasing your lines constantly digitally. Jamie said they need to focus on hands and also head shapes. Yeah, this is another thing about practicing this way is that you learn what you need to work on. It teaches you your weak spots, and then you know what you want to focus on for the next week. But not knowing how to do something is not a bad thing.
No.
You just don't know it.
You just don't know. You haven't done it.
There's no moral or quality judgment about it. It just is what it is. Dread Future said, I keep making torsos too long. See, that's exactly the type of thing I'm talking about.
Yeah.
In practicing, you start to see where you're making those mistakes. And while Nathan's like finishing up over there, I can do the thing that I like to do and put my sketch.
Normally when I practice, I would not share what I drew. But
no, well, me either. But
I want to make this presentable to you.
I'm going to put my sketch over the reference, and you can see that the areas in which it does not line up. Let's try to get it as best we can. I can see like the places where I make my usual mistakes here. Both of the legs are too short. And I made the general torso shape too short as well. So these are weaknesses that I know I have. And so I try to push them when I practice to try and like get it where I want it to be. But overall, really happy with the gesture and pose on this one. The limbs just need to be made a little bit longer. I think if I rotate him, it might help a bit. Yeah, I just tend to shorten the limbs up every time. It's one of the things I do. Just like you make torsos too long, I make torsos too short.
Wow.
And thanks for the compliments on the clothing folds. That's something I've been working a lot on lately, is shorthanding clothing folds. Turns out folds usually originate from like a single point, and you just do lines that follow the contour of the body originating from the crease of the fold. Are you ready to show, Nathan?
Sure, yeah. It's,
I think it came out good.
it's okay.
I feel like you gave him a big old donk.
Yeah, I did.
You donked him up in a
I
major
donked
way.
him up. I really focused. It was
A donk first
yeah.
approach.
Well, because it's like the way it was doing the stretch in the pants, I like that effect where
Yeah.
like it's real stretchy, and so it makes it look. But yeah, I think I maybe could maybe
But it's good though. It's not bad.
yeah,
Because
it's
you
not
did a
bad. We
pose
practiced.
you've
We
never
learned.
done.
We did it. Like maybe we move that in there a little bit. That
You-
might be a little better.
You've never done this pose before, I guarantee
No,
it.
certainly not.
And so in doing it, you've learned like what worked and what didn't work.
Yeah.
There you go. That's called the practice. Baby.
Sometimes you just want to draw the butt big. You're allowed. It's your drawing. Anyway, enough
Great.
of that.
Let's do day 4. We're basically right on time to get everything done here, which is great. So this will be the style study portion.
Did you hear Emily singing along?
No, I didn't. So here's where I would find like professional artists that are doing what I'm trying to do.
Doing some jump draws.
Yeah, so let's see what we can find.
You mentioned Spider-Verse. There's definitely some jumps in that.
Spider-Verse is a good one.
It's full of jumps.
It's
Spider-Man's
chock full.
constantly jumping.
I saw when I was just looking through jumping poses a really good drawn one that I know is from a professional artist. And then we'll get a Spider-Verse one as well. See if I can find it again. I feel like Pinterest always reorients itself so that I can't find what I'm looking for when I want to.
No.
Why?
Way.
Why? I don't want 20 of the best of the worst selfie fails ever.
Why not?
That's not what I'm looking for.
It should be.
Oh, here it is. This artist who I followed on Tumblr back in the day called Nargile. I believe her name is Grace Liu. But her action poses are freaking incredible. What have I done?
What have you done?
I'm trying to go see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Just trying to find a good example here. Give me what I need. Oh, there's a lot of good stuff here. Sorry, everyone. Give me a second.
Take all the time you need. I'm just doing
So,
more.
like, check this out.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Stuff like this, where it's like
That
so
owns.
pushed.
Yeah.
Like, this leg is crazy,
Yeah.
but it looks so good.
It works in that style. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, her stuff's amazing. I've been following her forever. I think she's like a storyboard artist. Let's see. What are you doing these days? Storyboards currently
So
at
clean.
Warner Brothers on My Adventures with Superman.
His legs are so thick.
And then I was seeing some other cool stuff here.
The way the foreshortening on that left leg is, where it's just like whoop and then foot.
Yeah. But it works so well. All right, Spider-Verse.
I can't wait. I'm already going on this.
What do you mean you're already going?
I can't wait. I'm just doing a practice. I'm just warming up. I want to see.
I searched Spider-Verse and I got Grace Liu again.
Incredible.
Oh my God. Yeah, check this out. More incredible pose work here.
Oh, hell yeah.
We'll start with the first one and then we'll do the second one. And we'll just do, what, like 5 minutes each one?
Sure. Except I've cheated because I couldn't wait.
You've cheated because you're a cheater?
I'm a cheater and I couldn't wait. It was
Because
too
you're a
cool.
cheating cheater?
And you know that when you just feel compelled.
Thank you,
to
Draz and
draw.
Jamie, for posting all the links to Grace's socials. And if you start following one storyboard artist, they all start popping up. And next thing you know, your feed is full of incredible work. Okay. So we're just going to try to sort of analyze this pose here a bit. Because the body's basically like it's so small and skinny. Which already for me is like difficult.
Yeah.
Because I want to thicken everything up. And the way like the fabrics too are like flowing out, that's so cool. I do love the juxtaposition between the big, thick arms with the jacket.
Oh yeah.
And the skinny torso.
And what even is in the background there? Is that that's a scarf she's got on?
Yeah, it's like a
Sort of
scarf.
flaring out.
Yeah. So then it's like these legs.
These shapes. Every shape is so like intentional.
Yeah, like this leg shape is crazy. It's like, what is this? It's like a big bean.
It's just kind of like a big bean.
This is the part of the process too where I've like shown in previous classes, like lining over the art.
Yeah.
This would be a good time for that. Yeah. In practice, you can do that and it's totally fine.
Never claim it as your own work.
No.
And if it's just for you and you're just using it to learn, go nuts.
Go crazy, go nuts. Yeah, just big dynamic shapes. Yeah, her art's one of those that's like ever since I was first starting out, I was like, this is like goals.
It looks so effortless, and then you try and do it, and it's like, gah.
And it's like, it's not.
How?
It's high effort. Hi, Julia.
Makes sense. It's so cool.
A girl on the street just asked me if I was Karina.
Did you hear that, Nathan?
What?
Julia said a girl on the street just asked if she was Karina.
She pointed to Karina's face and said, "Is this you?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm the other woman."
She pointed to Karina's face.
Oh, because
Where
you're
was
wearing the
Karina's
Drawfee
face?
hoodie.
Oh.
So they didn't even really know like what Drawfee was. Or did they?
Well, I think they did. It was confusing.
Is this you? Interesting.
These big feet shapes too.
Feet shapes are really good.
Everything's so loose. So when you're doing like this on this practice day, what you're trying to do is really pay attention to the shapes that professional artists use when they're simplifying things. So then when it comes back to you doing your own work, hopefully you retain some of that information and you have like another thing in your arsenal of like how you could simplify your own work.
And if things don't look right to you, a good trick that I use is look at the shapes in the negative space, like the shape that's formed underneath the legs. If your like copy doesn't sort of match that shape, then like make adjustments,
Yeah, totally.
because like that's a very simple shape.
And like
You can
see,
easily tell if what you've drawn is that or not.
and using that tip, you can see that I didn't put enough space in between the legs. I could have pushed the pose further. So that is a good easy way to look at that information.
Yeah.
'Cause then you can make adjustments to get sort of the shape a bit more how it was. I'm not going to finish this because I was talking. That's okay. We'll get as much of it in as we can. We're Bob Rossing it today, so. And also Nathan cheated.
And also I cheated this one because I was too excited.
But joke's on you, there is no cheating, only succeeding.
Damn.
So now buy my self-help book. That's one of the many quotes in it. See, this is one of the times where I just want to keep drawing this.
Yeah.
And so if you were doing the practice on a normal day and you felt like me, you started doing this practice and you were like, oh, this is really cool. And I really feel like I'm enjoying it. Like I would just keep going on this until it was done. So maybe I will. Who's going to stop me? You?
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 You can't.
Who are you?
Yeah, and I found, and this is also, people ask like how, you find reference and stuff. I literally went into Pinterest and typed in jumping poses and then saw a really cool art piece and then clicked on it that took me to the person's Tumblr. And then it took me to the Twitter and then it referenced, and when I clicked on it, it showed me a bunch of other artists doing cool poses. And that's like how you sort of landslide your way into finding stuff to do. But it is good to work from professional artists.
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. I saw a question here. Dread Futures said, so when you're doing these pro studies, your brain is like on, right? Like, oh, I am drawing a thinner noodle here, or that knee is just a straight up rectangle and stuff. Yes. You that's key to it, is having your brain completely on. You're not like mindlessly copying. You're thinking every time with every shape you're making. Like, what is this shape? Why is it working? How are they doing it? And like trying to really like put that in your mind in a very active way. It's not like passive copying.
No.
Because that won't really get you anywhere. It's like the difference between doing a shape breakdown and like, if instead of doing a shape breakdown, I was just like zoomed in like this and I was just like tracing like this is doing nothing for me.
Right.
I'm just tracing the lines. And you won't learn anything from doing that. But if you go in by the same token and you're like, okay, the head is like basically a circle. And then you've got these like hair spikes that come out in all these directions. And like, how is she picking these directions? What's the angle of the eyes here? Is like up like this. The scarf is sort of like this weird shape. If you're breaking things down like this is a big shape, and then the arm's coming out of this socket here and sort of making this big rectangular tube. This is also a tube. So even if you're drawing on top of it, if you're breaking it down like that and thinking about it, you'll get a lot out of it. If you're just tracing it, you won't get a lot out of it. And we want to get a lot out of it.
We want to get a lot out of it.
You want to get a lot of results for little time investment.
Exactly.
Okay.
This face is so good. I'm not nailing the face. I'll tell you that much.
I haven't even done the face. I abandoned the face. Dread Futures also asked, do y'all keep your practice as like an archive of your progress, or do you delete your art? I usually save mine all in a folder just with like the date on each one. And then I generally never look at them ever again. So both, I guess. I save it and then I do nothing with it. But it is kind of nice to have in case I want to look back, I guess.
Yeah. I think, save it if you want, but don't put any if like you did the practice and you don't like the way anything you drew looks, like that's fine. You still did the practice, and if saving the image is just taking up space on your computer at that point, like don't worry about it. But if you're like, oh, I actually kind of, maybe I'll reference this back. Like I did something cool here that I wasn't expecting. Like absolutely save it.
Yeah, if you think it's going to have value.
It's for you. So if it serves you to save it, then save it. And if it doesn't do anything for you to save it, then get rid of it.
That's exactly right. I agree with what Nathan said.
The whole point of doing this is for you.
Yeah, this is already like at the point of drawing where I'm like lost in the sauce.
Yeah, dude.
I could just go silent and like keep doing this now for forever. Like this face is definitely not right. But I think one of the keys is like learning to identify what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
Like I know when I look at my face versus this face is that I didn't angle it up enough. It's another bad habit of mine. I always like undershoot the angle of like extreme head tilts because I'm scared. I'm scared of tilting it all the way. So that'll be something that I'd have to like study, on my own time, of like how to make sure I'm tilting it up enough or tilting it down enough. Like this is already a little better. So if you can learn to sort of see what you've done wrong. And she's really got that mouth like quirked up so that it's almost touching the eye.
Yeah, the eye is like tilting down.
Yeah, the eye's tilting way down, like way more down than I did.
It's so cool. It's like, it's so effective. It's just movement on top of movement on top of movement.
Yeah. Everything feels like it's in action and in flow. Can we take a look at yours, Nathan? Because then we got one more thing to do, and we're running out of time.
I'm just going to cheat the face because I'm not happy with how it looks. There we go.
Cheat it.
Can I...
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting you can't, like, force me off. Oh, yeah. It's got so much of, like, the movement and the shape. which is like the goal of practicing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice work. I
This
really
is a
like
really good
how
one.
you push shapes and poses. I feel like you always find a little way to get extra oomph out of them.
Thank you. Yeah.
And like
Could
this is a
just
pose we couldn't have drawn this pose,
no.
but now maybe we
But
can.
now maybe,
Who
I'll
am I
think
to say?
about the way these legs look. It's like it's about confidence too,
Yeah,
It's like no person looks like this, but this is clearly a person and it just looks really cool. you
yeah,
know?
totally.
Um yeah.
Shall we do the last bit?
Yes.
I think too we've proven here that this practice also works if you're like not having problems practicing and you can practice for a solid chunk of time. You can easily do this all in one session like we've done.
Yeah.
And that's also on the table. But I really wanted this class to be designed for the person who's having a hard time making themselves do it at all. Putting it in manageable chunks like this, day by day, easy peasy. All right, we're just going to do 10 minutes of jumping poses now. We're to the final day, which is drawing from imagination again.
Yeah.
Now that we've put this new info in our minds. And we're just going to try again. And then we can compare to day one and see, what's changed, what stayed the same. See how it goes.
See how it goes.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go. Okay, let's see. What do I want to start with here? I think I want to do... I'm thinking about those like arm out sort of poses we were looking at. Oh yeah, maybe something like this. And I think what's always cool to see is like, or what's cool to feel is that when you've been practicing and you go back to do something like this again,
Yeah.
it just feels so smooth compared to when you started.
Right. You got so much more to work with.
Yeah. Like I'm thinking if the shoulders like, maybe if we tilt the butt more. That looks like a poopy diaper. It's not a poopy diaper, okay? Maybe it's, yeah, that should work. I think if we bring this leg up, because like this already is a pose I would not have been comfortable with. And I'm still not totally comfortable with it, but it's definitely pushed a lot further than what I could have done at the beginning of this. This like shoulder angle I learned from the sort of the skateboarding dude. And maybe we can get some of that like foot like this. And I feel like I've like retained some of the foot shape stuff. Oh yeah, that looks good. We love that. Maybe we go for a I feel like I want to try doing one of these like big leggy poses.
Yeah.
See like what I can remember. Oh, it's like, okay. shape like this, and then a foot was how it worked. Oh, and then this was tilted like that. More just foot. Like this definitely isn't totally right.
It's okay.
That's okay.
You're already on to your second one. I'm still on my first.
Maybe we really try to push this kind of angle. Yeah. It's heavy focus time.
Heavy focus time.
Heavy thinking time. I'm like trying to sort of remember. She kind of had these big fingers.
Yeah, fingers were cool.
That hand is way too big, but like I said, sometimes I draw it big and shrink it. And I'll try some of this hair also. Something like this. Oh, maybe the jacket? Go for the open jacket? It's kind of like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm already seeing a lot of progress, I feel. I'm definitely going to have a lot less poses this time, but the ones I've got, though, feel pretty good.
I don't know who this character is, but I like him.
What's another
Kind of a Knuckles Gajinka by accident.
Is it a Grinch Gajinka Ace Attorney?
Grinch Gajinka Ace Attorney, once the Kermit the Frog. Yeah, this is a fun. I like this one. Okay, cool. We'll take this one. We'll call this one done. Let's do another.
More. Maybe sort of another volleyball jump-esque thing here. So I know sometimes they turn in like this. That could be pushed more. I'm in mumble territory now.
Oh, we're mumbling.
I'm a mumble rapper now.
It's mumble time. Sometimes when you're too into your drawing and you just gotta mumble, that means your practice is working.
That means you're doing it, baby. Go for sort of like a jumping reach here. We got a claw. We got a shoulder. Head would be kind of like back in there. This is a really jacked up jump, but that's okay. See if we can't fix it up a little bit. This would be maybe more forwards. This will be. here. Turn the head a bit. That's working for me. We got like a minute 43 left.
I managed to do 1.5 poses.
I'm going to get one more in. Just a quick one. A celebratory pose. A we did it pose.
Because we did it.
Is what this one's going to be. We did it, gang. We did it. We did it. We did it. Yeah. This is going to be a little Jacob. Because we worked on it and we're proud of what we did.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Dang it.
And can't no one tell us otherwise. Put this over here. That one can be smaller because it's not as good. This is also something I do when I practice, is that at the end I resize everything so that the ones I like the most are big. And then the ones I didn't like are small. There we go. That's time. Woo! We did it. Nathan's still going.
I'm still going. Because I started one and I want to finish it.
Oh my God. What are people saying? Dread Future said, in this coming week, I'm going to try and do a painting version of this and share it in the draw class. This is really so helpful. Yeah, you should. I think you should give it a try. I think that everyone should give it a try. I hope that we've sort of demonstrated here that it's both fun and effective.
It's
I feel like
effective.
I got a lot of confidence in some poses, and it's also kind of interesting sometimes to do a breakdown of like what you ended up learning from it. And I think one thing I got from it that I didn't expect is practice on these shoulder angles and like hiding the far shoulder, like this one, and having more extreme torso tilts. I was thinking it would be a lot of like leg-based learning, but I feel like the thing that kind of really stuck with me from this is the torso tilts and twists more than the legs themselves. So you never know what exactly you're going to get from it.
Yeah.
Nosorg said, I feel like I got a better feeling for foreshortening from this alone, so that's cool. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, it's really basic. You just are taking information from the real world and from professional artists and doing your best to incorporate it into your own art in a short span of time. And so that's just how you practice. But when you think about like practice is a big daunting thing, you can get so stuck.
Right.
But when it's just little pieces like this, of just like little things you do, and then you get to see results week to week if you do this sort of thing. You'll see yourself improving in real time. Even if the improvement is like, less noticeable visually, but more like, I just feel like I understand this better. Or I'm able to do the same thing I could do before, but faster and with more confidence. Those can all be things that you learn from this.
Yeah.
Nathan, are you ready to show?
Yeah. I'll show.
Will you show and tell?
I only did 3, but
Oh, look at that middle pose.
the middle one I spent way more time on.
Damn, dude, that's sick. And you nailed the foreshortening so much and the dynamic shape language.
Yeah, I think that like that day 4, looking at how other artists do it is so important.
It's huge.
Yeah,
'Cause,
because it's just like it frees you. It's like, oh, you can just make it that shape.
Yeah. You don't have to invent art style in a vacuum from scratch. Like people have already done so much work in solving it's all of history. We've been doing work to solve the problems of like how to simplify the form and how to indicate movement and different ways to do it. Like you're working on your art on the backs of every artist that's come before you and is currently working. So don't hesitate to use that information and use those resources to improve yourself. You don't have to get better on your own.
No.
And in fact, you cannot.
Yeah.
So
this was great.
Yeah, I hope you all had fun with this. I hope
really
this is
good.
helpful.
I want to do this. I want to improve my art.
Let's improve our art.
Let's do it.
Let's all improve our art.
Let's all improve our art.
Starting now.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's basically it. The rules and stuff. If you wouldn't have come in late at this point because you'll be seeing this in the VOD.
Yeah.
The rules are at the beginning of the video.
If you skipped ahead.
Yeah, if you skipped ahead, then go back.
Go back.
And take the rules and read them and write them down.
Yeah.
And I'll be interested to see. I'll be looking in the Drawclass chat on the Discord to see if people are doing this and trying it out and seeing if it will help people improve in a way that feels more positive and less stressful.
Yeah.
And I think that's it.
Thank you again to everyone who's watching live for supporting us at this tier. We really appreciate the support.
Yeah, thank you so much.
If you're watching the VOD, thank you for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And if you're interested in watching live, we do this every month. Different teachers, different class concepts. You can find out. We announce ahead of time what the class is going to be. So you can join the Patreon at the low tier, and then bump up if it's interesting enough to you to want to watch live, and otherwise, just thanks for the support, watching, Patreon, and however you do it. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. That's it for our stream. Goodbye, everybody.
Go improve your drawing.
Go improve.
Go practice.
We're sorry.
Sorry.